One of my live stream lectures. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my YouTube channel. You know, my channel truly would not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture. And I'm going to ask the thought-provoking question. Do you know why you are a content creator? I don't care for what platform, but specifically YouTube. You know, because I'm a YouTube content creator. My channel is a little over 5 years old, and it's been a tremendous feat. It took me a little over 2.5 years to monetize my channel. But the thought-provoking question is, if you are a content creator, do you know the reason why you are a content creator? And if anyone was to go to your YouTube and read that description of your YouTube, and once they read that description of your YouTube, will that reader walk away with understanding and clarity in terms of the reason why you are a content creator? You know, because I meet and I talk to a lot of people, and, you know, many people who are aware that I'm a content creator. When I meet people, and if some of them may have, you know, they recognize me on this platform, and people always ask me, you know, I want to be a content creator. How much money you making? And number one, I'm going to say one thing. If wanting to make money is your primary reason for wanting to be a content creator, you're in the wrong business, people. It's going to have to take a little bit more than just that. By evidence, and I have a copy of my printed out description on my YouTube channel, and if anybody in this big old wide world was to read this, they will walk away with my reason for being a content creator, which ties into my mission, goals, and objective, aka it's on the about section. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. On your about section of your YouTube, you should have clearly indicate your mission, goals, and objective, meaning aka the reason why you are a content creator. And this is what the world is going to read on my about section of my YouTube channel. I started out and opened it with, I created my YouTube channel to share my experience of how I rose from financial destruction to financial freedom. That is the core concept, people, of my channel. The core concept of my YouTube channel also ties into my book title, Awake Financial Freedom. That was all by design. You know, the core concept of my channel ties into my book title, Awake Financial Freedom, and it also ties into my brand, my company, Parents and Associates Resource Center, which was all by design. And I clearly state on the about section of my YouTube channel, the overall concept of my channel is for the viewer to gain valuable tips about money, financing, budgeting, investment tips, and how to rise above any financial situation. I also got on the about section of my YouTube channel, the viewer will learn strategic ways to get out of debt and to remain debt free. You know, my book hit all major bookstores about over 3 years ago. And, you know, I tell the world, from 2007 to 2012, Marie Holiday was living in financial destruction. And when I got tired of living like that, in 2012, God gave me the skills to rise above my situation and to write my powerful manuscript. My manuscript got accepted by 2 world-renowned publishing companies, and the rest is history. My concept of my channel also ties into the concept of my book. And I clearly put on my about section that, you know, the overall concept of my channel is for the viewer to gain valuable tips about money, financing, budgeting, investment tips, and how to rise above their financial situation. You know, my video catalog is well over 9,000 published content. I have done a lot of lectures, a lot of thought-provoking lectures on how to rise above your financial situation, your credit score, your financial health, you know, a compendium of topics like that. The viewer will learn strategic ways to get out of debt and to remain debt-free. The viewer will also gain valuable information by listening and paying attention as I share my knowledge in many live stream lectures, just like I'm doing a live stream lecture right now. I also share my health and wellness tips. I share my specialty, coffee making tips, my travel blogs, informative and motivational topics. So then I say in my description, so support and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, my book title, Awake Financial Freedom, is available for purchase by Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Apple iTunes, Google Play, and audiobook. Page Publishing Company and Audiobook Network did a phenomenal job in transforming my manuscript into a published book. And I'll also bring the closure in this description on my About section of my YouTube channel. Also check out my business website, Paris & Associates Resource Center. My business website is one of the first links on my YouTube channel at the end of that description area. So my description section on my YouTube channel clearly identifies the what behind what I do, my reason for being a content creator. It clearly outlines my mission, goals, and objective. So then when you view my 9,000 plus published contents, I'm gonna hold true to what I said. I've done travel blogs, I do my coffee shorts of various different types of shorts, and I also have a catalog of lectures, thought-provoking lectures where I'm giving informative, thought-provoking, motivational, inspiring, educational, useful information to the world, people. And but I'm always going to revisit topics in relation to the core of my channel, that money piece, that financial piece, how to rise above your financial situation, your financial health, and the list goes on and on and on and on. I've done many lectures in relation to my book title, Awake Financial Freedom. This is powerful stuff, people. I still use my same book that hit all major bookstores well over 3 years ago. I still use my own book as a powerful resource to sustain my financial health, people. Because let me break this thing down to you. From 2007 to 2012, I was literally living in financial destruction. I didn't have 1 cent to my name, living from paycheck to paycheck, drowning in a sea of debt, getting up and going to work every day, working a full-time job and a couple of part-time jobs. I was drowning in a sea of debt. And I talk about in one of my chapters how when I had spiritual battle with God in 2012, God gave me the skills to master my money, to control my money, and the rest is history. And nobody in this world, and I talk about this in my book, nobody in this world, because at the time that I wrote my manuscript, I predicted that I would be able to retire in 2024. But I actually ended up retiring in 2023 because I was laser focused. I was laser focused. You know, I had a strategic plan in place 10 years before I retired, that I was going to make it about my business to exit up out of this workforce debt-free, people. And I've been debt-free, and I met that goal years before I retired. And nobody in this world could have told me that I would be having this conversation right now today. A couple of pensions hit me, actually 3 hit me for the rest of my life. Debt-free, I don't owe nobody nothing. I have no mortgage, no car, no credit cards, no student loans, no medical debt, no debt in any shape, form, or fashion. That's power, people. So when I get my pension income every month, I'm in the position by the grace of God where I can literally reinvest 100%. Let me say this again, rural. 100% of my retirement income. I'm able to reinvest 100% of my retirement income every single month into another retirement account. I fully retired September of 2023. So we about to hit September of 2025, 2 years in full retirement, ain't touched none of that money. I don't know too many people in full retirement get a retirement check every month, hadn't touched the money, don't need the money, and reinvesting the money. And I'm living in this everyday economy like everybody else in 2025. But because I have mastered the skills of living below my means, embracing a minimalistic lifestyle, the rest is history, people. Real talk. And I'm telling you, I literally still use my same book, Awake Financial Freedom, to sustain my financial health. Because when I was living in financial destruction from 2007 to 2012, I can clearly remember way back then, my credit score was at an all-time 340. My credit score been hitting well over 850 for years, and that's power. Nobody in this world, and I want to give all grace and thanks and glory to God for making this happen. That is the concept of my channel. That is the concept of my book, That Money Piece, How to Rise Above Your Financial Situation. That is the core concept of my brand, people. That is the reason of why I do what I do. I have a strategic business plan in place for my YouTube channel with measurable goals and objectives and projected due date, which is the foundation of my channel. Real talk. I make it my business when I give those thought-provoking, educational, motivational, inspiring, useful, real talk lectures to the world. Because when I get in front of these cameras, especially on my live stream lectures, I'm ready to get down to business. Real talk. Because I want to make sure any viewer who listens to my thought-provoking lectures, it will provoke your thinking. It will provoke your thinking. Because if I can do this, real talk, full retirement, if I can rise above I can clearly remember living from paycheck to paycheck. I can clearly remember not one penny to my name. I can clearly remember that. But when you get tired of being tired, when you get tired of living from paycheck to paycheck, borrow from Peter to pay Paul, broke all the time, worrying about bills, scared to check your mailbox because the late notices on top of late notices on top of late notices. Real talk, people. It would drain you of your energy. It would drain you of your vitality until you are ready to do something about it. Many times when I reread my book, this book became available in the audio version 2023. When I read or either listen to my own book, you can't even believe that was me way back then. It's almost like two different people. The person, the Marie Holiday that was drowning in financial destruction, and the Marie Holiday who has been financially free, debt-free years before I retired. That's why I'm able to do what I do as a businesswoman, not just as a content creator, because the checks I get from YouTube every month, I reinvest that money. Trust me, I don't use YouTube money to pay no bills in any shape, form, or fashion. The few that I do have, no, the money I make as a content creator, I turn around and reinvest that money. I treat that money like it don't exist, because I tell anybody it is power in having multiple streams of income. As a content creator, in terms of the why behind or what you do, one of the things that you should do also is to embrace that business model. Because being a content creator, in reality, it is a business. I'm keeping this saying, it is a business by evidence violating YouTube community guidelines. YouTube will shut you behind down, aka dissimilar to policies and procedures. As a content creator, violate these guidelines. YouTube will shut your behind down. It's a business by evidence. We get a 1099 at the end of the year. The evidence to prove that on how much money we make for the whole year, we're considered independent contractors if your channel is monetized. So that's enough evidence right there. It is a business. So since it is a business, I embrace that business model. And what I mean by that is I'm going to have my strategic business plan in place. My strategic business plan for my YouTube channel is well over 32 plus pages long. I'm constantly looking at that business plan, updating my business plan, revising that business plan. That is the foundation of my channel. That is the what behind what I do as a content creator. Real talk versus just in it to make money. Because you ain't gonna see no money for a while. Even after you get monetized, you're gonna have to put some elbow grease into this to get your channel to the stratosphere where it's generating, where you're getting the return on your investments. But if you don't have a higher purpose, if you don't have a mission, goals, and objective for your channel on paper, that's the driving force. If you don't know the what behind what you do, if you can't document in the description area on your YouTube channel, your mission, goals, and objective of your channel, the what behind what you do, then you're just out there. A person should be able to read your description and know what your mission, goals, and objective is, the why behind what you do as a content creator, real talk. So share this information in terms of what is your reason for being a content creator. Because if you're just money driven and you ain't got that strategic big plan in place, you don't have a mission, goals, and objective for your YouTube channel, you are setting yourself up for failure, real talk. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm gonna leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.